God, Sophie, welcome to Spark TV.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. So weird because we always catch up in real life and we're like, Zooming to do this podcast, which is weird.
Just from the other side of town.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. I'm so excited to share your story with everybody because obviously I've gotten to know you over the last few years, and I think that you are absolutely amazing. And you, I know, are so supportive of other women in business. So, yeah, super excited to share your story today.
Well, thank you for having me. As I am of you, I quite enjoy your company and everything you bring to the table. So surround yourself with the right people.
I love that. I could not agree more. So, let's tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name's Sophie Law, just recently married. My husband and I have our own contracting business, and I don't keep still. So we've put one business, made it into two, and here we are.
Oh my God, I know. And that's one thing that's wild about you is corporate career, business number one, business number two. I'm like, do you even sleep?
No, no, I don't have much downtime, but I feel my downtime with all the fun things.
You do. I'm always amazed at how you do everything because you're always also socializing. You have great family relationships. Like, literally, if there was a definition of superwoman, it would be you.
You're too kind. No, I just I think I just try to use up all my time.
Yeah.
I literally like to use my time.
I love that. And that's so interesting because so many people are like, I don't have time to start a business
Yeah.
and use time as an excuse. But that's such a cool way to look at life. Like, I've got all this time. Let's freaking do it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like we're not all born to sit on the couch and watch Home and Away every night, even though I still do that. But we just multitask and we get good at I think like outsourcing, delegating, bouncing off people. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so good. So what role do you play in the businesses?
So I with our contracting business, so hubby's a carpenter and he used to build boats for a living.
Oh, wow.
So he's worked on a lot of luxury cruise boats for celebrities and stuff.
I did not know that.
No, not many people do know that. And then, yeah, he's lots of concreting work, just general handyman and construction. But I've grown up in a family business. My parents have an earth moving company, and I have just always been in a very empowered environment. I think that's the best way you can put it. Like I've had a very privileged upbringing, but I've also used it to the maximum capacity.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I sort of put the systems in place to make the business run well during the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
That I can imagine there'd be like so many moving parts, like people contacting you, trying to book in with you, like getting quotes off you, then actually allocating their time. Like there's actually so many moving parts that's not doing the job.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. Like, sure, you can have the husband who has the skill set, but it's managing the husband and the staff to work to their skill set and get the maximum out of them. So like I answer the emails, I'm replying to people over text message. Like it's a new age. You don't have to call everyone in this day and age.
Mm.
People love a text message. So a lot of our business is over text.
Wow. Yep.
And that's just what works for us. It's our generation. Yeah, you don't have to talk on the phone for 10 minutes at a time just to schedule a job in. Yeah, and I do all the paperwork, I do all the background, and that's what sort of works well in our business. Like I'm on the computer doing all the digital stuff, and then Ryan's on the ground.
Yeah, because you now that kind of sparks in my mind as well. Like you also do the marketing, like you're the social media person as well.
Yeah, you wear all these different hats and you have to be good at wearing all the hats. So I'm there doing the BAS, I do the payroll, I pay the bills. It's a lot to manage, But also too, like when you set it up well for one business, I find you just like put that method into another and it just works really well.
Oh my God, that is actually genius. I remember someone said that to me once, like, the first time you do it, it's like the figuring it out. And it was so true. Like each time I've started like a new business, it's like, oh, yeah, I know how to buy a domain. I know how to set up an email. I know how to do this. I know how to do like everything happens so much quicker because you're not figuring it out from scratch.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, yeah, once you have your first year in business, you have your first 12 months of payroll, you
Mm.
do that at tax time. Well, that's cool. I know how to do that now. It doesn't matter if you've got one staff or 20.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's so
So
true.
it's just, I think it's just learning the things. And once you learn the things, then you just put it into practice.
Yeah, and it is funny too because it is repetitive. Like exactly what you said. Once you've done payroll for 12 months, you've done the tax, you go, oh yeah, I just do the exact same thing next year.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, a lot of it is trial and error. And that's what I just try and do. Whenever anyone comes to me, I'm like, okay, I've tried this, I've made these mistakes, so don't do what I did.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm forever sharing mistakes that I've made. Please learn from me. Let me shortcut your success.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I love it. I love it. How do you find working with the husband? How do you find working with your partner?
Oh, just so crazy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm so lucky though. I've got a really good husband. Like
Yeah.
I just have to stress that. Like he's a very humble, hardworking, he's the calm.
Yeah.
So I'm like the hurricane that comes in at the end of the day, and he's like the calm at the table.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah.
Complementary personalities is always a good thing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Like there's some people out there that can't work with their spouse, but we just found a system that suited us. And definitely me working full time as well helps that. Yeah, because I sort of like get rid of my hurricane energy during the day,
Yeah.
and then I come home and I just focus on us and our things. And
And so
whereas
is that the way you split it up? You go, okay, I'm at work during the day and then I do all of the business stuff at night?
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Or like you have a night here and there where you've got to go out or you've got a family dinner, and it's like, well, okay, I'll just dedicate more time on the weekend to sorting those things out.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know it's interesting, like the balance. Do you find that you're thinking about the business while you're at work?
Oh, totally, totally. You've just got all these folders in your head and you compartmentalize everything. But also too, like we've had it where, I'm sure everyone's had it where they could have a stressful work project and they're up at 3 a.m. thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I think you just think about everything all at once, but women do that naturally anyway.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. What is sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I know. And it's interesting too. It reminds me, someone once said, like, working for someone's hard, having your own business is hard, doing this is hard. And it's like, so just choose your hard. Like,
Yeah.
you're so
Choose what
right.
Exactly. Choose what you want to put up with and what you're happy to live with. And I've always been a big believer in choices. So like you can choose to go down a path that might not be very helpful or beneficial to yourself, or you can choose to go to work every day, put in the hard yards, and then see the results later. Like you just choose your hard.
Oh my God, so true. And that, like, that idea of like short term versus long term, like, okay, so today might be a bit hard, but in the long run, I'm going to have built something for myself. The money will grow, my self-worth, like my personal development, all of those things will grow. Yes, it may not be as immediate as going to the pub and having a drink today,
Yeah.
but I'm actually investing in me and my future.
Yeah. And multiple streams of income, like just
Mm.
setting those up and just not relying on one set income to cover your ass essentially.
Yeah. Oh my God. A little bit of ass covering never goes astray, does it?
Yeah. And I guess too, that's something we've learned like in our 2 years of business together, like hubby and I, it's like figuring out where your strengths are, but also where your weaknesses are, and just going, okay, we need to work harder on our weaknesses.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you guys sit down and have those conversations, or like how do you actually kind of come to that conclusion?
Yeah, so the one of the biggest things we've had to figure that out along the way, because we'd be getting to 9 o'clock at night and I've got to have a conversation about finances with him.
Mm.
And in business, we all know that anything that happens at night time like that never ends well.
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually learnt to go for a walk. So
Oh,
when
I
I
love that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So when I knock off work, I go home, and if we've got the time, we'll just go for a quick 20-minute, half an hour walk. No, no AirPods in, anything, and we just sort of have a debrief.
Yes.
And I've found that has made us so much more productive and healthy too. Like just communication techniques, everything. It just helps so much.
Yeah, it's almost like carving out space, like the transition between the work day and then the business day.
Yeah.
Such
Yeah.
a brilliant idea. I feel like you could do that, like, especially people who are like solopreneurs who work from home and then like have their husband get home from work. It's like almost like a good get out of the house, do that, just share stories from the day, come home. Like, it just give you like such renewed energy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And just changing your environment. Like, the
Mm.
environment you work in sometimes can be so stale. Like the girls at work and even everyone at home in my home office, I'm there rearranging furniture. I'll move everything around. I think I've rearranged my office 3 times this year at work. So um,
That
I
sounds like
just,
me.
yeah, like I just don't like stagnant energy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like sometimes it's those little tricks and hacks that do just like bring the vibe, on the days where you're not feeling it. It's something as simple as, okay, this is now over there. That kind
Yeah.
of does give you that renewed energy. It might seem silly, but if you can kind of trick yourself into like getting your shit together and working a bit harder, that can't be a bad thing.
Oh, totally, totally. Even just get up and do like 10 jumping jacks at your desk.
Mm.
Honestly, game changer.
Oh my God, I love that. So, you talked about walking, talked about moving energy, moving the space. Anything else you do because you are so busy and like juggling all of these things? Is there anything else that you specifically do to like maintain your energy so that you can show up for multiple businesses, relationships, and work life?
I try and be as authentic as possible. So like I'm not over here going, oh yeah, I'm an amazing person. I'm perfect. I get everything right. I don't. There are times when like, my communication will lack with a client, or like I haven't been for a walk this week. So I know like in my head, like my mental health like needs that.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out, like, cut yourself some slack. We're all human.
Mm.
But I try to be as authentic about it as possible and go, you know what, like I'm going to go celebrate my small wins. So I'm huge on that. Maintaining a social life, you've got to get out with your friends. You can't just, lock yourself away and say, I've got too much to do, because we've all got stuff to do.
Yeah, totally.
But also to like treat yourself.
Yes, I'm just recording this, obviously, and I'm playing that back to Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
Sophie told me that I could treat myself today.
Absolutely. No, I'm all for it. Hey, like, I'll go to the guys. I'm like, right, let's go for a lunch. We're doing pub lunch today. Meet you there in my lunch break. As simple as, oh yeah, we had a good one. Let's go for one glass of prosecco after work, just to celebrate the small wins.
Yeah, so that's amazing. I love that. Let's put a pin in it. So not only do you do that for yourself, but you do that for your team as well.
Oh, everyone around me, like even the girls at work, I'll go, all right, round of coffees on me. Like,
Yeah.
let's start the day right.
Yeah, isn't it crazy too? Like, it's just the small things, like, buying people a coffee, buying people a lunch, or even just inviting, you don't even have to shout them, like, but inviting them out into your world and like holding space for them outside of work or outside of, the business, like it actually makes a huge impact on other people as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And you never know what someone's going through as well, like at home or in their personal life. And like my biggest thing I've always said to people, you could be the most exciting person that that person speaks to that day.
Yes.
So I always have that in the back of my head, no matter where I am.
Yeah, I love that. You really don't know what other people are going through, do you? You know,
No.
and if
Yeah.
you're that, you might think, oh my God, what do I know? Like, what have I done? What experience do I have? But, if someone's having a hard day or they're struggling with a challenge and you just, oh, well, here's my support, here's my opinion, here's what's worked for me in the past, like that can be life-changing to people.
It can, and it can be as simple as you just taking half an hour out of your day to make someone felt seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's actually a good business growth strategy too, because people buy from people. I'm always shocked at, the value. And, we talk about like, you got to do a viral reel and you got to pay for ads, you got to do all these things. And I'm like, there's so much value in just like helping out people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they become your customers or they refer you to people who'll become your customers. Like, being a good human is like the best marketing strategy on the planet.
Oh, definitely. Like just donating to a good cause locally or engaging with the community. Best marketing strategy for your business tenfold rather than putting an ad in a newspaper.
Oh, totally. And it is that like just, I think about like networking events. I mean, we're going to an event literally in like an hour and a half
We
together.
absolutely are.
And it is, I was just thinking about that. Like so like, we just had a girl who wants to start a podcast and we were giving her some advice and she showed up to the event yesterday and I was just thinking, I met her at the event you had for the small business morning tea for WA businesses. Was that this week or last week? I can't even believe
Last week.
last
Yeah.
week. Oh my weeks are like just blending into each other. But like, yeah, literally had a short conversation with her because, you're just showing up to an event, talking to good humans, and then she jumps on the masterclass and now she wants to join Spark. And I was like, you just like show up and be a good person and share your experience, and you just never know what will happen.
Absolutely. Like, but even it goes like deeper than that. So like, she finally met the jeweler that made her engagement ring because
That's right.
her husband brought it locally and she was like, "Oh my God, I actually, get to see you at these events." And just that word of mouth business is so crucial for small business.
Totally. It's like, I feel like people think old school stuff doesn't work anymore.
Mm.
But I kind of think that because people think it's old school, they stop doing it. So there's actually this huge opportunity for people who actually do it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a big believer in like not holding information back.
Mm,
So if something's helping me, I will share it with everyone.
yeah.
But it
I
might not help everyone.
No, but it probably will. But it's
Yeah.
like, I think some people are like, I don't want to give away all my stuff for free. People should pay me. And I'm like, you know what? The people who aren't going to buy from you aren't going to buy from you. And the
Yeah.
people that will. So it's like, you just show up and I be generous and it will return.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, I'm very lucky though, like with my full-time job, I get to help people start businesses for a living.
Yes.
So I feel like, just sitting down and brainstorming with someone, best time of my life. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll help you come up with 10 new products for your business. Like, let's do this. Let's nut it out. And no, I'm not going to go and make those 10 products myself and start my own business because I really do not have the time.
Oh my God, I know. You're like, because I actually know what it takes to start a business and run
Yeah.
a business. I'm not going to steal your ideas.
Yeah, I'm quite happy in my bubble.
Oh my God. Do you find that like being in that role actually helps you in your businesses because you do get that like strategic time with other people?
Oh, absolutely. Like just brainstorming, like even with yourself, when I go, I actually need help. And I go, look, I've got this one system in place, this program that we pay for monthly just to track our guys and our jobs. Is there anything better out there? I'm always open to new things and change. and we all don't know anything. Again, being authentic,
Yeah.
just going, hey, look, I'm constantly learning too.
Yeah, I love that. I know there's nothing better than just having an open conversation and a brainstorm. You just never know what, yeah, like even that software example, like I'm using this tool. Is there something else that you've heard of? Just little things like that. You just never know what other people are playing around with. And
Oh,
like you wouldn't sit down at like a coffee and be like, okay, I started testing this project management tool this week. You wouldn't offer up that information. But like if someone's like, hey, I'm using this. Have you tried anything? I'll be like, oh yeah, I actually just started testing something out. So those brainstorming conversations I think are so valuable as business owners.
absolutely. Like the amount of tradies in this town I've actually asked what project management software they use.
Yep.
And believe it, they all use something different.
Mm.
So I still have not found the perfect project management software. So
I know. It's wild, isn't it? I love that too, though, because it always makes me think of, people think, oh, there's got to be one tool, everyone uses it, the market's saturated, I can never start my own thing. But it's like there are so many tools, everyone uses everything different. Like there's so much opportunity in the world to create something new and something bespoke and something that solves a problem. Yeah,
yeah,
it's interesting, isn't it?
that's literally what business is, though, solving other people's problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
And doing it with a bloody smile on your face.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so true. What do you think's been your biggest challenge in business?
Um, oh, that's a hard one because I embrace challenge quite well, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a Capricorn. So
Yeah, bring it on.
yeah, no. I think my biggest challenge though would be like you've got that staff management aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a lot something I've put a lot of effort into the last sort of 12 months is just people expect you to just know how to manage someone from the get-go, like
Yeah.
especially when you take on an employee.
Yeah.
And we had to seriously go, okay, this is like uncharted territory here. How are we going to deal with this?
Yeah.
But we are so lucky that like our first employee is amazing.
Yeah.
And but also too, I understand that they're not all like that either.
No, no, they're definitely not. They're definitely not. It's interesting, like people often, I reckon finance and people are the like top two challenges that people usually have in business.
Mm.
And, yeah, you did get very lucky. Like that guy's amazing. But you're dealing with personalities, right? Like, and you just never know who people are before, like in an interview. So, and you never know how people are during times of crisis
Mm.
when actually work gets hard or they have to do something that they don't want to do. Yeah, it's full on managing people. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, it's very hectic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, just but also too, I reckon like everyone should turn up to a job interview with like only 2 hours of sleep.
Oh my God.
Because then
What? What
you'll
is this hack?
you'll figure out who the person really is if they've got no
Oh,
sleep.
I would be a nightmare in that interview.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Don't
Yeah.
do that, people at home though.
Yeah. Please ignore our advice.
Yeah.
No, but it's so true. Like, I really struggle with it because I used to be like in my corporate career, I was a salesperson. So I never managed anyone. I just managed myself. And the harder I worked, the more money I made. And then started running businesses and I was like, oh shit. Like, and you just kind of, I think when you first start, you assume everyone will be like you, like everyone will have the same work ethic, everyone will kind of think the same. And then it's just like wild, like the types of things that happen. I remember like when I hired like young people, like having to teach them about how the workday starts at 9 o'clock. And I was like, what is this? Like, is this really what I now do for a living? It just drove me up the wall.
Yeah, yeah. And you just figure out like in your business dynamic, who's good at the things like that.
Mm,
And And a big thing too, like if you don't like doing something, outsource it, get someone else to do it. Like your clarity and mental health is not worth trying to do all the things you don't like doing.
Oh my God, I love that you said that. And oftentimes it can be more expensive for you to figure it out. Like if you're sitting there and you take the entire day to try and figure something out, like you could have outsourced that and
Yeah.
you work on your zone of genius, make more money for the business. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just not worth holding on to things.
Oh, totally. And like people will might jump up and down at paying subscribing to a software that will actually help them with their workflow. Whereas I'm like, no, take my money. Like if that's going to save me a couple of hours every
Yes.
week. Yeah. So and then they can't justify it. And then I'm like, no, but like the time you spend doing all the things that could be automating and doing for you, you could be seeing 3 more clients, or that's money you could be making.
Totally. I feel like when people are like got it's almost like they've created a job for themselves
Mm.
and they don't quite understand the steps that they need to scale. And
Yeah.
that's like literally what you said is the key to scaling a business. It's like you have to get your time back so that
Mm.
you can either, well, do amazing things like hang out with your family and friends, like, the whole reason we started businesses to get some freedom, or to your point, take on more clients and make more money.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you gotta find that nice balance.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love that so much. Okay, you and I could talk all day, but I always love to wrap up these podcasts with one last piece of advice. So,
Yes.
reflecting on your time in business, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to another woman on her business journey?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Quit the whole pressure. I've got to be this, I've got to be that, I've got to be here, there, or I'm not starting that until I've done this, and or I've got this. Just stop it. Like, cut it out. Be kind to yourself.
I love that so much. You all heard it here first. Sophie said, cut it out and just take the pressure off. Be kind to yourself. I could not agree more. We are kind of our worst enemies sometimes, aren't we?
Oh, totally, totally. But yeah, sometimes it's okay to just go and have a coffee with your friend, or go and have a glass of Prosecco and have a little debrief, and yeah, wash the day away.
Wash the day away. I love that so much. Well, I plan to wash the day away with you very soon, but thank you so much for taking the time to share your story and your wisdom with the Spark community. You are the best.
Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you soon.